Good morning. Good morning. Good. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, drop a comment. Good morning. If you can hear me, you can see my screen. Please drop a comment. How are you doing today? Confirm it loud and clear. Let me know the pairs you're considering trading today. I would like to know the pair you're considering trading. I'd also like to know your bias on that pair. And if you have any question, it's in the comment section. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Few minutes, please. Waiting for others to join the class. While we wait, just keep dropping your questions and pair you'd want me to analyze, pairs that you're considering trading and you want to get my opinion on them. Let me know in the comment section. Okay, so today is 10th of, 28th of May. Today is 28th of May, and these are the major news we are expecting today. Australian dollar released its CPI data around 2 a.m. Nigerian time. As the forecast was 2.3, and the actual is 2.4. That is 0.1% higher than the forecast. So Australian dollar is expected to be bullish. Going by this data that was released, Australian dollar should be bullish. Okay. And New Zealand released its official rate, official cash rate. The forecast is 3.25 and the actual is 3.25. The actual and the forecast is the same thing. So that might not have much impact on New Zealand, okay? The actual and the forecast is the same thing. And they also released their monetary policy statement, rate statement, press conference around 3 a.m., okay? Then by 7 p.m. today, FOMC meeting minutes will be released by 7 p.m. today, and that is the reason I wouldn't be trading the dollar pairs today. It's the reason I wouldn't be trading the dollar pairs today. Okay, like I told you guys, it's by tomorrow after FOMC meetings, we'll get a clear direction on dollar pairs. Okay, If you still want to trade, if you're considering trading USD pairs today, then ensure that you close your trade before FOMC. Okay, ensure that you close your trade before FOMC. And if you're trading today, don't be aggressive, be conservative. Okay, don't be aggressive. If the lot size you normally use is 0.1 lot size, at least you could use 0.05 trading before FOMC. Okay, don't risk everything on the trade before FOMC. Don't risk everything. You could just risk 50% of my lot size you use. Yes, that's what I would advise. Okay, the choice is yours to make. I would advise, and that's what I do. That is what I do. Okay. So let's go to the chat. If you have any question, any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Joseph. Good morning, Mr. Abubakar. If you have any question, any pair to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Okay, I can see Mr. Joseph. You're requesting that we look at EJ, GU, and EA. Okay, we'll look at that in a few minutes. So let's start by looking at dollar index, because that will determine our decision on currency pairs. We need to know what's happening on DXY. So what do we see on DXY? What do we see on DXY? What's happening on DXY? So you can see on DXY we had a doji indicating change in trend from bullish to bearish. Let's start with the daily time frame. Let's start with the daily time frame. Nice. Okay. So you can see yesterday candle strongly bullish. It was strongly bullish, and today's candle at the early hours of today, DXY was bullish, and at the moment it is bearish. It is bearish at the moment. At the early hours of the day, DXY was bullish. Okay, so now price tested this. I think it's came to fill this fair value gap. I shared this with you guys on, I think it was on Monday. I shared this with you guys. I was expecting dollar index to come and fill this gap, and that it has done. It has achieved that. So at the moment, it is bearish. It is bearish at the moment. Okay, indicating that dollar is weak. But personally, like I said, I'm not taking any trade on dollar at the moment. Okay, I'm not taking any trade on dollar at the moment. And if I want to risk selling the dollar, after the formation of this doji on 4-hour time frame, let's go down to 1 hour. I'm sure it has created a fair value gap. Okay, it has created a fair value gap on 1 hour. Let's go to 15 minutes. You can see the fair value gap on 1 hour, which is this, the gap in between the high, the low of this candle and the high of this candle, fair value gap. Let's see what we have on 15 minutes. So I would like to see the dollar. If I want to risk the dollar today, I'd like to see the dollar pull back to fill this fair value gap it's created on 15 minutes time frame. Okay, I'd like to see it pull back a few minutes. Okay, let's change the color. Okay, so I'd like to see it pull back to fill this fair value. Okay, this fair value gap. I'd like to see dollar index come back to fill this fair value gap. And for those who trade my strategy, you know what to look out for when price pulls back into this zone. Okay, for those of you who don't use my strategy, just look for a bearish reversal pattern. A bearish reversal pattern should form at this zone. Okay, on a 4-hour time frame or 1 hour time frame before you go bearish. But there's also a possibility for price to come and clear this high. You can see there's a high probability because of FOMC, they might use FOMC to manipulate, price, come clear the liquidity, because they know a lot of retail traders would have started selling after the formation of this pattern. You can see liquidity reside at this previous high was cleared, shift in market structure at this point. So they know a lot of retail traders would have jumped in and start selling, and their stops will be at this level. So they might use FOMC to come clear the liquidity residing at this high before going bearish. Okay, so that's my take on the dollar index. At the moment, it is bearish, but I want to see price pull back, either to come fill this gap or clear the liquidity residing at this previous high before going bearish. Actually, the close of today's candle will determine, okay? The close of today's candle will determine if I will be selling the dollar tomorrow. Okay, so if today's candle closes at bearish reversal pattern, that will be a valid confirmation to sell the dollar tomorrow. If today's candle closes a bearish reversal pattern, that will be a very good confirmation to sell the dollar. Give the video a thumbs up so that others can get to see this video. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. If it's your first time joining the live stream, please do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. You don't want to miss any of the sessions. Subscribe to the channel, okay? Please give it a thumbs up so that others can get the video. So that's my take on DXY. Bearish, okay? That's my take on DXY. Dollar is weak, but like I said, I would wait for to do close before I would go bearish on the dollar. Okay, so let's look at other instruments. So let's look at yen basket. Yen basket, I told you guys I'm considering buying yen yesterday, and I told you I need to see a bullish reversal pattern formed on the yen basket before I buy yen. You can see. So far today, the yen has been bullish. Let's go to 4 hour. So what's happening on the yen basket? Okay, so on yen basket, you can see what played out this morning, early hours of today. This was the first candle for today's market. I think I'm correct. So you can see what played out. First thing they did here was to clear the liquidity at this previous low. That was the first thing they did here. To clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. At this point, that was what they did. And they know a lot of retail traders would have executed buy after the formation of this spinning bottom and this inverted hammer. They know a lot of retail traders would have executed buy. So what they did was to come for the stop losses. You can see this candlestick, this pullback was to come for the liquidity residing at this previous low. And after they cleared the liquidity, you can see the pattern that formed. It is an hammer. It's an hammer. So with what I'm seeing here, I think yen basket is going to come back to fill this fair value gap. This gap is created here. There's a high probability it will come, fill this fair value gap, or come back here to test this resistance. Yeah, this support stone resistance. So it's either going to come here or fill this fair value gap. That is my expectation. This is a mitigation block. You can see this is a mitigation block. Price was mitigated at this point, right? This is mitigation. See, that's mitigation. Liquidity got swept at this point. Liquidity residing at this previous high got swept. Okay, before the mitigation. Okay, and after the mitigation, shift in market structure at this point. And after a shift in market structure, what happens? Price is expected to pull back to fill the imbalance, the fair value gap it's created. So that is what I see playing out on the yen basket. So I expect yen to be bullish today. That is my expectation based on the price action on the daily and the 4 hour time frame. And if today's candle closes bullish, okay, you can see what's forming here looks like an hammer. If it closes bullish, that will be a valid confirmation to buy the yen. If today's candle closes bullish, that will be a valid confirmation to buy the yen. So my bias for today on yen is bullish. Okay, it is bullish. It is bullish. Okay, so it means we should be looking for buys on, sales. We should be looking for sales on yen basket on JPY pairs. Yeah, sell on JPY pairs. Okay, so let's start by looking at GJ. Mr. Joseph said I will look at GJ, or let's look at GU before we look at GJ. GBP USD. Okay, so this is what I see on GBP USD. Okay, so on GU daily, if today's candle closes as an hammer, then we're looking for buys. Okay, if it closes as hammer, we should be looking for buys. But what can you see on the daily time frame? You can see we have this fair value gap here. Okay, this gap has not been filled, so I feel they might still want to come fill this gap before going bullish. That's what I see playing out on GU. They might still want to come and fill this gap before going bullish. Now let's go down to 4 hour to see what's happening on 4 hour. Okay, so you can see on 4 hour we had a fair value gap here. It has filled this gap on the 4 hour time frame, and you can see there's a strong rejection from that zone. Okay, so this is the first time 4 hour is filling this gap, and I think this low might be used as liquidity. And if they're able to clear that low, they would use that opportunity to also fill the fair value gap below that low. I think this low now is a trap for retail traders. That's what I think out. Okay, that's what I think will play out now. If you want to take the risk buying GBP USD today, if you want to take the risk, I would advise. Okay, I would advise you wait for retracement. Wait for retracement. You can see it has created fair value gap on 1 hour time frame. So if you want to buy GBP USD today, don't buy from the current market price. Patiently wait for price to pull back to this zone. And after price pulls back to this zone, look out for your setup. Okay, look out for your setup. Wait for a bullish reversal pattern to form inside this gap. And like I said, it is also possible for them come for these lows. Okay, so the pattern that forms after price pulls back, fills this gap, will determine if you can buy from that zone or you wait for this low to be cleared. Okay, so if price pulls back to this zone and you want to buy from this zone, set your stop loss few pips below this low. And like I said, don't be aggressive today. Don't be aggressive. Be very conservative. Don't take much risk until FOMC meeting minutes. Okay, that is my advice. So you could buy, risk less, set your stop loss few pips below this low. If this liquidity gets cleared, then you wait for another opportunity to buy. Okay, buy. Okay, GU is getting set for buy. It's getting set for buy. So selling it is at a very high risk. Okay, it's at a very high risk, but there can still be sell opportunity. It can still sell. If I want to sell GBP USD, if I want to sell GBP USD, this is where I will consider selling. You can see we have this fair value gap. For long term, it is bad. So if you are selling, you are trading the reversal, which is risky. Okay, which is risky. The trend is bullish on GBP USD. So if I want to take a risk selling GBP USD, I want to see price come back here to fill this fair value gap. You can see it has created, price has tested this fair value gap at the early hours of today. Price tested this fair value gap. Can you see that? So this high might be used as liquidity. This high might be used as liquidity. So if price comes to fill this fair value gap, then I can sell it to this zone or this low, depending on the candlestick pattern that forms. I won't just jump in and start selling because this fair value gap got filled. No, it's the candlestick pattern that forms here that will determine how to sell. If a bearish reversal pattern forms on, let's say, 1 hour or 4 hour time frame, ensure that there's a shift in market structure on 15 minutes or 5 minutes time frame before I will take a sell to this zone or to this low. How you are getting me? But like I said, the trend is bullish. The trend is bullish. If you are selling, you're trading pullbacks, and it's risky trading pullbacks. So if you're trading pullbacks, you know you are trading pullback, your lot size should be reduced. Are you getting me? Your lot size should be reduced. That's my take on GBP USD. I am patiently waiting for the buy. Okay, I'm patiently waiting for the buys on GBP USD. I'm patiently waiting for that. Okay, so that's my take on GBP USD. Let's look at GBP JPY. Like I said, yen bullish. Yen is bullish. So on GBP JPY, it should be a buy. Yeah. No, what am I saying? It should be a sell. GBPJPY should be sell. It should be sell, okay? So let's see what's playing out on GBPJPY. Let's start with the daily. Okay. At the early hours of today, GJ bought at the early hours, but at the moment it is bearish. So after the close of yesterday candle, I want to see the pattern that formed on 4-hour. And I think on 4-hour also a fair value gap was created, and that could be the reason for this buy. Let's see 4-hour. Let's see 4-hour. Okay, so you can see on 4-hour the fair value gap that price got filled. You can see it on 4-hour. You can see, and after this fair value gap got filled, you can see the pattern we had on 4-hour time frame. Okay, so this is a sell setup. This is a sell setup on 4-hour. It's a sell. Okay, so I think this pullback here, this pullback was to fill, I think, a fair value gap that was created after the this candlestick here. This pullback was to fill a fair value gap. Let's say on 1-hour. So you can see on 1-hour, we had this fair value gap. Can you see it? This fair value gap. So this pullback, I think, was to fill this fair value gap. You can see, and that has been achieved. They fill this fair value gap. So I think GJ is set for sell, and if you are selling GJ, there is a high probability GJ would come fill this fair value gap. That's what I see on GJ. Okay, if you are selling GJ, you should be aiming for this. So GJ, my bias for GJ is a sell. Is a sell. Okay. Let's see what's happening on minutes. Okay, so I think on 15 minutes, I think you go down to lower time frame, let's say 5 minutes, I think a fair value gap was created here. You can see what played out here on 15 minutes. We had a fair value gap on 15 minutes. Price came back to fill this fair value gap. You can see it got it filled. And maybe if you go down to 5 minutes, maybe a fair value gap was created at this area. Okay, after the formation of this candle, probably a fair value gap was created and price is trying to fill. Let's see. Let's just see on 5 minutes. So you can see on 5 minutes. I think, okay, we had a very tiny fair value gap here. If you go to 1 minute, I'm sure there's a fair value gap that price wants to fill. Let's just see 1 minute. There's a fair value gap it wants to fill. That's the reason for that pullback, for the current pullback. Let's see. So you can see we have this fair value gap. We have this fair value gap. Okay. We have this fair value gap. You can see this fair value gap. We still have one fair value gap here too. So probably price just wants to fill this fair value gap. So these are areas you should be considering selling. Okay, these are areas you should be considering selling. Okay, those are the areas you should be considering selling. You can see it's likely we want to fill this fair value gap. So once those gaps get filled, then you can look for sales. Once this gap gets filled, you can look for sales. That's my take on sell if a bearish reversal pattern forms after these gaps get filled, and your TP, you could set your first TP using the low. This is an area of liquidity. That is where you should set your TP, your first TPs. Okay, these lows. So areas of liquidity. So just patiently wait and see the pattern that will form after this gap gets filled. That's my take on GBP JPY. Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Rotesco. Good morning. Okay, so that's it for GJ. Okay, let's look at EA. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, please let me know in the comment section. Mr. Mayor will look at GBP CHF in a few minutes. Okay, so if you are selling from this zone, just set your stop loss few pips above this high. Let me see 1 hour. Okay, set your stop loss. Let's say you took a sell from this point. You can just use 30-40 pips. 30-40 pips as your stop loss on GJ. Okay, GJ is going to sell. GJ would sell. Okay. So EA, Euro Aussie. My bias on Euro Aussie is sell. Okay, it's sell. My bias is sell. Let's see how yesterday candle closed. Okay, yesterday candle closed bullish. Looks like a shooting star. Okay, it closed bullish. Bullish looks like a shooting star. You can see this. So if we go down to 4 hour, what pattern do we have on 4 hour? That will determine if one should go bearish. What pattern do we have on 4 hour? Bearish reversal pattern. Okay, so you can see the we have on 4 hour. This is a bearish reversal pattern. After the liquidity residing at this previous highs got cleared, a bearish reversal pattern formed. Liquidity at this previous highs got cleared. Okay, and a bearish reversal pattern formed. After this pattern formed, let's go down to 1 hour. So 1 hour, I'd like to see price close below this low. You can see this is 1 hour. Then if you go down to 15 minutes, 15 minutes, you identify this is our low on 15 minutes. Okay, so you can see price shifting market structure occurred at this point. You can see shifting market structure occurred at this point. And after shifting market structure, price is expected to pull back. You can see that played out at the early hours of today. It pulled back to this gap, okay, pulled back to quality of premium area, and there was, you can see the strong reaction from that zone. So it's most likely price might still want to come and test because this happened at the Asian session. Okay, so price might still want to come and test this gap, clear the liquidity it has created here. Okay, it might want to clear the liquidity residing before going bearish. Okay, so if you are considering selling, you should consider selling around this area. That's my take on Euro Australian dollar. I actually made a mistake this morning to buy Euro Australian dollar because I was looking at this this previous day. I was looking at this previous day pattern. This previous day pattern. I was looking at this previous day pattern. But if you look at, if you're working with this previous day pattern, you can see that price has already moved. So you would have bought, if you're working with this day candlestick pattern, you would have bought, let's go to 4 hour. The buy on that day would have been done at this point. That was the mistake I did this morning. Okay, you would have bought this move, you would have bought this move from this point. And if you had bought from this move, I'm sure you would have been out of this trade at this point because you would have made close to 1 to 2 risk reward on this trade. So you would have bought from this point. Okay, so that was the mistake I did. I was using the previous day. That was on Monday candle to determine the direction. But I had to recheck to confirm how to see how yesterday candle closed. Okay, so that's my take on Euro Aussie. My bias for Euro Aussie is bearish, bearish, bearish. I hope that is clear, Mr. Joseph. I hope that is clear, Mr. Joseph. Please give the video a thumbs up if you haven't. And if first time joining the live stream, please subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. Okay? Any question, any question, any question? If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Okay, Mr. Mayor for GBPCHF. Okay, after that, we'll look at gold. And that will be all for today's session. If there are no questions or if there are no other instruments you want us to look at. Okay, so let's look at GBPCHF. 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 So let's start with the daily. So let's see what played out yesterday. You can see how yesterday candle closed. Liquidity was residing at this previous high, and that was cleared yesterday. Okay, first we want to ensure liquidity has been cleared, and also we had a fair value gap here. We had a fair value gap here. Okay, and this level I think is 50% of this gap. This level is 50% of this gap, which ICT would refer to as consequent encroachment. Consequent encroachment. Okay, so after the close of yesterday candle, let's see the pattern we had on 4 hour. Let's see, is it a bearish reversal pattern? Okay, so what we have here is a reversal pattern. You can confirm that on, let's see, 1 hour. Let's see 1 hour. So you can see the pattern we had here on 1 hour. These are bearish reversal pattern, 3 consecutive bearish candle. When you see three consecutive candles, this, you know that the trend has changed, and you can see that this closed below the low of this candle. So this can be an engulfing. This is an engulfing. If you combine these 3 candles, see it as one candle, it has engulfed this candle. So that's a sell. That's a sell, and it's created. I think it created a fair value gap at this point. It's created a fair value gap at this point, and this candlestick tested that fair value gap, though it didn't feel it. Okay, so I think let's see if shifting market structure has occurred on 15 minutes. Let's see. So I think a shift in market structure has occurred at this point. I think shift in market structure has occurred at this point. We go down to 5 minutes or 1 minute to confirm that shift in market structure has occurred at this point. And the price has pulled back against the fair value gap here. We had this fair value gap here. Price pulled back, filled that gap, and second time it filled it, you can see. And there's been strong rejection from that zone. So I think it is bearish, but you might want to patiently wait for price to pull back this zone. You might want to wait for price to pull back to this zone, okay, before you sell. It means that if you want to sell from the current market price, okay, if you want to sell from the current market price, your stop loss has to be above this level. And if you are setting your stop loss above that level, that will be about 40 pips, 40 pips, okay, which is not bad. 40 pip risk is not bad. So, because it's all probability, price might not pull back into this zone, okay, it might not. So since you know there's a likelihood for price to pull to fill this gap, you can just set your stop loss, so say 10 pips above this level. And if your stop loss gets it, you know that the trend has changed. Most likely, it will just go clear the liquidity residing at this high and just keep going up. But at the moment, it is bearish. GBPCHF is bearish. GBPCHF is bearish. Any question? Is there any other pair you want us to look at? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section which other pair do you want us to look at. Okay, let's look at gold. Let's look at gold, and that will be all for today's session. XAUUS. Okay, gold. Let's start with the daily. Gold has been bullish since the market opened. Gold has been bullish. I feel gold will still sell. I feel gold will still sell. On a daily time frame, we'll still have this fair value gap on the daily time frame. So far, price has tested that level at least, I think, 2 times, this low and also this low. They've attempted to test this fair value gap 2 times, and I think this will be a trap. This low will be used as liquidity. Okay, that's what I see playing out on gold. These lows would be used as liquidity. So I think it's best to wait for price to fill this fair value gap before you buy gold. Gold is long term. Okay, so if you want to buy gold, I would advise you wait for price to clear the liquidity residing at this previous low before buying gold. Gold is coming for these highs. That's what I see playing out on gold. It's coming for these highs. Okay, it's coming for those highs, but I'd like to see gold fill this fair value on a daily time frame, this gap on a daily time frame. So I can see this is I think this is a trap for retail traders. This is a trap. They're going to come for these lows. Probably they'll use FOMC to manipulate the price and just push it, clear the stop losses residing at this low, before going bullish. That's what I see playing out on gold. It is bullish long term. Okay. Today it might sell to this zone. So if I see a bearish reversal pattern form at this point, we have a fair value gap here on 4 hour. So if a bearish reversal pattern forms at this zone, I'll look for my confirmation entry pattern. I'll look at it at this zone before going bearish on the gold. And if I'm selling from this zone, I'm coming for this moves, this liquidity. That's what I see playing out on gold. I hope that is clear. I hope that is. Any question? Do you have any question? Let me know in the comment section. Do you have any question? Any question? It appears there are no questions. Since there are no questions, we've come to the end of today's session. I appreciate every one of you who participated in the session, and I look forward to having you in the next session. Please trade today. I've always advised use stop loss on all your trades. Today is not the day to be aggressive. Ensure you apply proper risk and money management on any trade you're using today. Okay. If you do that, you'll definitely be profitable long term. You will definitely be profitable long term. Just be calm. Don't rush the market. Take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on your capital. Slow and steady. Grow your capital slow and steady. Okay, so guys, once more, I want to appreciate you for your participation. I wish you all a wonderful day.